Grazie mille. Signor Presidente Fontana, caro Presidente Pons, caro Vicepresidente Zoffili, Sottosegretario Molteni, gentili onorevoli. Desidero innanzitutto ringraziare il Vicepresidente Zoffili per l'iniziativa, la seconda di questo filone. È un'iniziativa frutto della sua visione, della sua tenacia. Devo dire, Vicepresidente Zoffili, abbiamo fatto una ricerca nel segretariato, abbiamo scoperto che lei è il Vicepresidente eletto con il maggior numero di voti nella storia dell'Assemblea parlamentare, quindi questo come italiano mi fa un grande onore. Il convegno già è un gran successo, c'è una sala piena, ovviamente Roma è una sede molto popolare, ma credo che le tematiche che affrontiamo sono molto importanti e hanno portato qui molti parlamentari. Grazie al Presidente Fontana per l'ospitalità, abbiamo avuto un bel dialogo prima soprattutto sul DNA dell'OSCE, no? Un'assemblea che si occupa del dialogo e a volte anche un dialogo con paesi, con colleghi parlamentari con i quali abbiamo differenze di vedute e credo che noi l'abbiamo proprio nel nostro DNA questa capacità di dialogare tra di noi. Qui è stato ospitato a Roma un convegno lunedì della NATO, dell'Assemblea parlamentare. Alla NATO sono ovviamente like-minded e hanno una logica diversa rispetto a quella che abbiamo noi all'Assemblea parlamentare, che fa un po' più di outreach, che fa un lavoro per cercare di anche comporre i conflitti che abbiamo attraverso lo strumento del dialogo. Ringrazio della partecipazione ai vertici della Guardia di Finanza, della Polizia di Stato e dell'Arma dei Carabinieri e li ringrazio per il lavoro che fanno. Ringrazio il Procuratore Nazionale Antimafia Giovanni Melillo che ci parlerà domani e anche per il lavoro che la Procura Nazionale ha fatto con l'OSCE, ha lavorato a stretto contatto con l'OSCE, con il nostro collega Marco Bonabello che è qui, che tra l'altro è uno degli organizzatori di questo convegno, soprattutto nei Balcani, quindi noi abbiamo anche un lavoro diciamo concreto che facciamo con la Procura Nazionale. Una parola di gratitudine anche alla delegazione italiana che è qui, anche con ex parlamentari che facevano parte della delegazione parlamentare prima. La delegazione italiana lavora in modo compatto, ovviamente ci sono differenze politiche nel dibattito interno in Italia, però quando lavorano all'estero lavoriamo come squadra e facciamo veramente molto lavoro di squadra e cerchiamo di portare anche il modello diciamo, italiano all'estero e questo è un motivo di grosso orgoglio per me. Un ringraziamento al Presidente Pons, caro Pere, da quando sei Presidente di questa Assemblea hai portato l'Assemblea veramente al centro diciamo, del dibattito politico nelle organizzazioni multilaterali. Hai messo al centro l'Ucraina, sei stato di recente, lo hai ricordato, a Bruxelles a parlare dei bambini che sono deportati in Russia, però hai voluto veramente porre al centro la politica. Siamo stati di recente in Kazakhstan, quindi l'aspetto del Centro Asia, nel Caucaso, nei Balcani, ci ha portato a Srebrenica, dove c'è, molti lo ricorderanno, una scritta, The Shame of the International Community, si parla del fallimento della comunità internazionale a Srebrenica. Ecco, questo è per chi lavora nelle organizzazioni internazionali da 30 anni come me un monito dove ci ricorda che bisogna usare queste organizzazioni internazionali per cercare di deliver. I'll now move into English because I want to thank all my colleagues and my friends from the over 100 members of parliament. I think 42 countries we have here represented. I am constantly amazed by your enthusiasm, by your participation, by your commitment to work in the OSCE. I know you're very busy parliamentarians back in your national parliaments, but the work that you dedicate to this assembly, the amount of commitment that you have demonstrated in the last year has record highs. I will remind it in my report to the Standing Committee in The Hague next time. At the outset, and it's been remembered also by other colleagues, we cannot not remember victims of organized crimes as we are in Italy. I think we should remember two politicians, Pier Santi Mattarella and Pio La Torre, who have been victims of organized crime. 2 judges, Borsellino and Falcone, and 1 general, General Dalla Chiesa. They are victims of mafia, but have also given us some indications of how to fight mafia. It was reminded by Sottosegretario Malteni, follow the money, that was the motto of Judge Falcone. Why we do this in the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly? I think the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly has a special key to deal with the organized crime, because organized crime is not just national. I've worked in the Balkans for many years, and I must tell you, I've worked, here we have Albanian delegation, Serbian delegation, I've worked between the fight between Albanians and Serbs in southern Serbia and Kosovo. But I must say, while there were multi-ethnic challenges between the 2 countries, there was great cooperation at the level of organized crime. So organized crime cooperates very well and cooperates in a multi-ethnic fashion. So the point here is that you cannot fight organized crime just with national legislation. You have to have an approach which is multilateral, international, as we do in the OSCE. And I think that this is the key that the Parliamentary Assembly has. You have the possibility to share your experiences, to share your good practices, and also come up with solutions which are a little bit more international and allow us to fight organized crime also with the tools that they have, because they have no problems in cooperating internationally. The first Rome conference that Eugenio organized fed very well into a resolution on promoting recovery on social reuse of assets confiscated from organized criminals. This was in Porto last year, and with a great principle, I think this is also a principle of the Italian fight against mafia, is that the assets that you seize from mafia should be given back to the victims of mafia and should not be left in the possession of mafia who have stolen this from victims. And in the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly, we approach these issues also in an integrated fashion. We have, thanks to President Pons, also appointed a special representative on combating organized crime, Zoffili, but also a special representative on fighting corruption, and also we have an ad hoc committee on fighting terrorism. So all these committees, fighting terrorism, fighting corruption, and fighting organized crime, all is very well integrated in our work, and all comes to one objective, which is to have unified legislation to fight organized criminals. Under your leadership, Vice President Zoffili, also, you've created very good relationship with the UN, United Nations Office on Drug and Crimes, with the DEA, with the American states. So also the outreach that you've done in the United States to help us also create cooperation with other international organizations. And I think this is very important. When you work for international organizations, sometimes you tend to become very, protecting your own little turf. But I think you've had the intelligence also of working with others, because the objective here is to have all the assets of the international organizations fighting one objective, organized crime, and not having, to say, the monopoly of that fight within international organizations. And there are others probably who are better equipped, better financed to do that, but you've had the intelligence of putting together the work and the support that members of parliament can give to this fight. So thank you for that. Tomorrow, it's been reminded here, we will meet His Holiness Pope Leo. Thank you very much, Eugenio, for arranging that. I think the fight against drugs and organized criminals is not only a security imperative, but it's a moral and a humanitarian one. And it is about protecting the most vulnerable, the young person had their first pill, the family who is torn apart by addiction, and the neighbor destroyed by criminal violence. And I think His Holiness Pope Leo has unparalleled moral authority to these issues, and we are honored to stand alongside with him tomorrow. Honorable colleagues, this work will, as you've reminded us, feed into another resolution in The Hague. So the work that we will do today will inform and will prepare a new supplementary items on these matters. I'm very proud of the work we do at the Parliamentary Assembly, and I conclude. I would like to thank again President Pons. Under your leadership, I think we have really and put the Assembly at the very center of a political debate. We are stronger politically. We are also stronger financially. Here I see many delegations, Luxembourg one of them, who have decided to contribute higher than they use. This shows that there is an appetite for more work of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. There is an appetite for more commitment. So I also thank those delegations who have decided to increase their contributions. And this shows that you believe in the work that we do, you believe in the work that you do as representatives of parliamentary diplomacy. And as an Italian, of course, I cannot fail to conclude my statement saying that I hope that in the future, probably in the next legislature, President, there will be a possibility also in Italy to host an annual session, maybe in 2030. 2030 should be my last year in this job as a Secretary General. Maybe it would be a good way to conclude my mandate as Secretary General. So with this hope that we can all get back here maybe in 2030 or somewhere during that period of the new legislature, I thank you all and I wish you all good work. Thank you very much.